Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca, and in this video I'll be showing you how I created this neon based graphic in Canva. So the first thing that I'm going to add to this graphic is the person. So I have my picture here, and what I'm going to do is edit the photo and remove the background using the background remover feature that Canva has. Okay, so once I've removed the background, I can just move this to the side, which is where I want this to sit. And then I'm going to go ahead and work on the background for the graphic. So I now want a neon background, so I'm just going to type in green neon to see what ideas I can find. And I'm going to go on to photos first. So I'm looking for a background image that I can use as a background for this photo. So I like the look of this, so I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to click on set image as background, and I'm going to make this a tiny bit more transparent. So this is just the main background. There's layers or bits that I'm going to add to it later on. So I've done that, and I'm also going to click on background color and make it black. So that way when I do make this more transparent, instead of making it look fuzzy or lighter, it just fades the neon, but the black is still quite visible. So in terms of background, there's more that I need to add to this. So I'm going to scroll down to see what other ideas I can see in terms of making the background pop a bit more. So I like the look of this brick wall here. I'm just going to scroll down to see if there's anything else instead. So this is a nice idea as well, but I'm going to go for the black wall. So I'm going to scroll up, I'm going to click on the black wall, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this first background from the background or as a background image. I'm going to drag in this brick wall into the back. Then I'm going to adjust the transparency so that you can see the green wall underneath. So I'm going to move this backwards. I'm going to make the background of the green brick background a bit more transparent as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I like the look of this so far. I'm going to drag this back up. I want a green or neon border as well. So I'm going to type in neon green border. Okay, so I'm playing around with it to see what background works best here. What border works best here. And once I have it, I'm going to move it backwards so that the girl sits on top. And I'm going to make it a bit more transparent as well. Okay, so now there's a bit more of a background that we're working with here. There's still a bit more that I want to add into the background. So I'm just going to go onto neon green again because I want the neon to really jump out at me. I'm going to see what graphics I can use. So I like the look of this. So I've clicked on this, and the aim is I want something that's going to add a bit more of a pop of color or in your face green neon to this graphic. So if I click on this, I'm going to move it backwards. I'm going to make it a bit more transparent as well so that it's visible but it's not that visible. And that way you can see it kind of adds like a rustic feel to the graphic itself. I'm going to see if I can add another one, but turn it a bit more so you get like a different feel. Again, repeat the same steps and make it a bit more transparent and moving it backwards so it sits just above the background of the graphic. The next thing that I'm going to do, once I'm happy with how the background is looking, I'm going to go ahead and add my text. We're sticking with the theme of neon, so I'm going to see if I can find a neon related kind of font that I can use. Okay, so I'm going to try this font. So granted there's changes that I want to make to this, so I'm going to ungroup it. I'm going to drag away the because we don't need that. And for this, it's a 21-year birthday bash. So I'm going to add in the word 21 and adjust this. I'm sticking with the neon colors. I'm going to change the font as well so that it's something that kind of suits the image a bit better. Granted, if you wanted to stick to the photo colors, you could use these examples. But I just want to add my own. So I'm going to see what kind of neon color I can use. I think I'm going to go for a bit of a purple, something that's neon but not neon green. I'm going to stick with this for now, and then I'm going to go onto Horizon. I'm going to select, or the font rather, to change that. Finding the right font can definitely take time, and test your patience. So granted, if you have fonts that you typically use, I would say add those to your brand kit, so at least that way, if you know you're going to use a font regularly, then you can keep coming back to it. Okay, so I'm going to stick with this font for now. I think I may change it later on, but we'll see. And then I want to change the name or the title of this as well. So if I click on the word 21 and I click on the 3 dots, I can use the copy styler to copy the format and paste that onto the second piece of text by clicking it, and that way I can easily make tiny amends instead of going through the whole process of formatting the text again. I'm adjusting the font or moving it around so it sits where I want it to, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in the last word. So it's a 21 birthday bash. Called me an old girl for using the word bash, but I didn't want to be promoting motives on my thing, so it is what it is. So I'm just going ahead and looking for that final word, so a format that I can use for the word birthday. I'm adding that in. I'm going to ungroup. I'm going to drag out the words or the extra text I don't need. I'm going to change the name of this text to say birthday. I'm going to adjust the size as well so that it fits in this section. So I still need to add in details about where and when the event is. So again, I'm looking through the text box or the elements to see what font I can use as a basis. I'm dragging out the bits that I don't need, and I'm going to go ahead and change the text so that it says what I want it to say. So to make sure I can see this font clearly, I'm going to go click onto the text and click onto effects, and I'm going to select the effect background, and that's just going to add a background to the text here. I'm going to change the color of the background to white and the font to black. For the font that I want, I'm going to change it to Roboto, so I know that's the font that I use. I'm just going to search that and click on it. I'm going to make sure that the text isn't bold, and I'm also separating out the text, so one line has its own background and the second line has its own background as well. And to do that, I'm just going ahead and creating a separate line, with one with where the event is and the second line with when the event is. I do want to see if there's something that I can add to add a bit more pizzazz, or to make the background jump out a tiny bit more, just like these little graphics. So I'm going to scroll down. Again, I've searched in neon green in graphics and the elements to see what I can find that could potentially work. If it's like a music event, then granted you can add something like these music icons. I'm just going to see what will work for this graphic. I've searched green arrow because that's the icon that I want to add in. I've found one that works, and I'm just adding that in and adding that into the top corner, as you can see. Again, adjusting it so it fits as well. I almost forgot, I also want to make this image or this person pop a bit more, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go on to edit photo, and I'm going to go on to shadows. So if I go onto shadows and go onto glow, I'm just going to edit the background so it pops out as like a neon green, and I'm going to just select the color that I want here. So I'm just playing around with the size of the blur as well as the amount and the angle, so it's adjusted or sitting or looking the way that I want it to. And once I've made those changes and I'm happy with it, I'm just going to click outside of this panel to save it. Now I'm just doing the finishing touches, so I'm going into elements. I'm searching for neon green sparkle this time, and I'm looking for something that I can use to again make the graphic pop out a bit more. So I found a muted green background that I'm going to use and add that in. I'm going to adjust it so it fits the border quite nicely. I've also added in neon green sparkles, and I'm going to adjust it so that it fits across the entire graphic, and I'm going to transparency and turn that down as well, and then move it backwards. And then the final bit that I want to do, I just want one more icon or graphic here, so I'm going to see what I can find. Neon green icon, let's try that to see what comes up. So I found an icon that I want to add in, so I'm just going to click on it and adjust it so it sits in that bottom corner here. And once I've done that, I'm basically good to go. So this is it. There's one with the border and then there's one down below without it. Let me know which one you prefer in the comments. Granted, again, if you did enjoy this tutorial, if you did find it helpful, let me know in the comments and I'll keep these videos coming. Make sure you check out my other Canva tutorials as well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!